The Queen wore a sapphire brooch to meet the president. A coincidence? Politicians around the world knew better. This was a message. The jewel said what could never be spoken aloud. 1982, Windsor Castle prepares for a state visit. United States President Ronald Reagan is arriving in Great Britain. The Cold War is at its height. Elizabeth II stands before a mirror in her chambers. Ladies-in-waiting lay out her jewels, dozens of brooches to choose from, modern pieces, Victorian ones, Edwardian. The Queen picks up a sapphire brooch, that very one, Prince Albert's wedding gift to Queen Victoria. The center stone, 12 carats, gleams deep blue. A star of diamonds surrounds it. The courtiers exchange glances. They know the choice of jewelry is never accidental. Every brooch carries a message. Sapphire symbolizes loyalty and constancy. The Victorian era, the golden age of the British Empire. The Queen pins the brooch to her dress. Reagan will see it first thing. American journalists will photograph it. The whole world will read the message. But no one yet understands that an entire diplomatic game has just begun. The meeting in the stateroom unfolds under the gaze of cameras. Reagan shakes the Queen's hand. His eyes linger on the brooch. For a moment, the president nods, almost imperceptibly. The American press writes about the warm reception. British analysts note the symbolism. Victoria and Albert, a model of Anglo-German alliance. Elizabeth and Reagan, a new Anglo-American alliance. The sapphire says, "We are faithful to our friendship. The empire of the past supports the empire of the present." The Victorian brooch connects the 19th and 20th centuries. 10 years pass. 1996. Nelson Mandela arrives at Buckingham Palace, the first African president of South Africa. A man who spent 27 years in prison. Elizabeth again chooses Victoria's sapphire brooch. The courtiers are puzzled. Victoria ruled during the age of colonial empire. South Africa was a British colony. Isn't this an insult? But the Queen knows differently. Albert chose the sapphire as a symbol of loyalty. Mandela fought for loyalty to the ideals of freedom. The brooch says, "We recognize your journey. The empire has changed." Mandela understands the message. After the meeting, he speaks to journalists about the Queen with particular warmth. The brooch has built a bridge between the colonial past and the post-colonial future. The 2000s bring new trials. September 11th, 2001 changes the world. Military conflicts begin. Relations between Great Britain and the United States strain over the war in Iraq. 2011. Barack Obama arrives in London on a state visit, the first African-American president of the United States. Symbol of change in the world. Elizabeth II wears Queen Victoria's sapphire brooch again, the third time in 30 years. Diplomats and fashion historians begin to see the pattern. The brooch appears only at meetings with leaders who change history. Reagan ended the Cold War. Mandela abolished apartheid. Obama shattered racial barriers. The Victorian brooch connects them all. It says, "Empires fall, eras change, but principles remain. Loyalty, constancy, respect for history and readiness for change." Obama sees the brooch. He studied British protocol before his visit. American advisors explained to him the language of royal jewels. The president understands this is the highest form of diplomatic recognition. Years pass. Fashion historians compile catalogs of the sapphire brooches. Appearances, every wearing documented, every photograph analyzed. The pattern is clear. The brooch appears at turning points in history, when continuity across centuries must be shown, when words alone are not enough. Experts call it jewelry diplomacy, a language understood without translators. A 12-carat sapphire speaks louder than any speech. Queen Elizabeth transformed a 19th-century wedding gift into an instrument of 21st-century politics. Victoria wore the brooch as a symbol of love. Her great-great-granddaughter wears it as a symbol of statecraft. Analysts around the world study each appearance of the brooch. Which leader will the Queen honor with it next? What will the Victorian sapphire say about the modern world? The ladies-in-waiting know when Elizabeth asks for this particular brooch, the day will enter the history books. She doesn't choose the jewel. History chooses it. The 12-carat sapphire guards the secrets of centuries. It witnessed the birth of an empire and its sunset. It heard the speeches of kings and presidents. It remembers the Cold War and the fall of the Berlin Wall. To whom will the brooch tell its next story? And what will it say in the language understood without words?